Ladies and gentlemen, old family, new family, old listeners and new listeners, you are listening to BoomBappED, capital E-D. This is one of your hosts with the most, Brother Brandon White, a.k.a. Bushido Garvey.
Yeah, Aaron Thompson, Atlas, what up?
Indeed, we got Brother Rob Lowe on the tech. And ladies and gentlemen, we have an awesome set of guests today. They're highly creative, innovative, show-stopping, hip-hopping.
Come on.
Daughters of Art, Miss Danna, Ari, and Shataryn Highsmith. How are y'all doing?
Good.
Excellent. For those who don't know, BoomBappED is an honest, open, and clear-headed exploration of education and cultural issues focused on, but not limited to, the Rochester area through a hip-hop lens.
Exactly.
So we're very grateful to have you ladies on the show. We'd like to just do a quick rundown that we typically do.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's just open it up with a quick rundown of your resumes, highlights. What would you say you do? What makes you tick, both in a professional work capacity and or in artistically? What should people know to set off this conversation about the three of you?
So I play the flute, Ariana plays the piano, and Danna dances. Honestly, we like to reach the young audience and let them know it's okay to be different, okay to be.
What's young in your definition, out of curiosity?
Honestly,
millennials, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, it's to anybody. Like, it could be a 75-year-old person. Like, it doesn't matter to us. But we try to reach the younger people because we feel like they need it.
They need the empowerment. Basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Last year we did Voice of Experience. That was pretty much to empower young girls, let them know they're okay, comfortable in their skin. We'll also be performing at that on
May 24th.
May 24th. Last year we did the Step Jam, so that was pretty
fun.
cool.
That was fun.
That was great. Just the youth there, just the kids being excited, their energy. I think that was the highlight of everything.
Honestly, yeah.
And just being up there for young black girls, that was that was also a highlight.
We did the African American Festival the past 2 years, and that was fun.
Yeah.
That was a lot of
We
fun.
also did 2 years Juneteenth festival.
So you're on flute,
Yes.
right?
I play piano
piano
and guitar now.
and guitar, that's right.
And I dance.
She did.
In the process of learning guitar.
Yeah, we're
Yes.
learning guitar at the moment.
Indeed. That's a very interesting combination. We'll probably talk about that a little later, right? But we always have an icebreaker of sorts when we have guests come on. So we got to ask you guys, if you had to perform your music and dance to support one artist's performance, who would that artist be?
Wow.
Y'all have to agree.
Okay.
Or come
Wait,
to
dead or alive?
Good question.
Yeah.
Dead.
Dead? I want to go with
Me too.
Mix it up. Makes it a little harder.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta for the love of my life, Prince, of course.
Prince, yeah.
Prince. Why Prince, y'all?
I feel like his vibe. He was a multi-instrumentalist as well and a dancer as well. Cross genres. Always was true to himself, and he always wanted to bring empowerment through his music, and he was real. I think that's what we strive for with just every performance that we do, I guess. So.
Yeah.
And for those who haven't seen that, it's absolutely true and evident when you watch them perform, for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, so speaking of your performance, what sparked the idea? It's an uncommon one, and it's a remarkably dope idea of combining the flute, the piano, and dancing.
Well, it's actually a funny story.
It's
It's a
Very
funny
long
story.
We got a few minutes.
Well, we've been doing this since we were kids. Like,
Yeah.
literally, like, in diapers doing this. Go ahead.
No, we were obsessed with this movie, The Cheetah Girls. I don't know if you ever.
Oh my gosh.
So we named
My little
ourselves
sister,
the
yeah.
Cheetah Kids.
Yeah.
So we would
We would
have
put performances on for our family.
family.
We have a big family, so
Really?
we would get together,
like,
plan matching
practice
outfits,
and,
practice.
head to toe matching.
Everything.
We used to do steps, dance,
Like, we tried to do
everything.
So we were always like performing, I guess. And then as we got older, obviously, like, you know, did our own things. We ended up just coming back together and deciding to
just name it.
But even before we came up with the name, we were like going out doing stuff, and people would like say, "Okay, we have Dana Jones and Ariana and Shataryn Highsmith," and it's like, okay, that's kind of long. Like, we need a name. Like, you need one name, and it kind of just came up.
And like we figured, because our entire family is honestly artistic, and our parents, so we thought daughters of art, we've been raised around all art, and you notice in our name, the D is capitalized, the A is capitalized, and the T, which stands for Dana, Ariana, and Terrence.
So we tried to put that in there.
So kind of along with acknowledging you guys doing this from a young age, there's an homage to, I guess, the intergenerational piece from your peoples and your family, kind of cultivating this from for you all. And you know, that's why little brother is called little brother. I didn't know it. Like, they saw themselves as younger brothers of like these older brothers, like Wu-Tang and Pete Rock, and they call themselves little brother as an homage to the generational thing that goes on. So that's what's up that y'all had that same kind of thing. What's one thing that you've learned from watching each other mastering their respective crafts? So, for example, Miss Taryn, you play the flute. What is something that you might have learned from Dana while she's mastering her dancing that you were able to apply to your craft, right?
She puts all of her emotions into her dance, and we play with our emotions, and just what's hitting us versus like just learning a song and playing it. It's like we put our all into it, every feeling, we've been through our art.
Indeed. All right, what have you gotten from
Both of them?
Yeah, any of them. Yeah, either of them.
So actually, piano is not my first instrument. Like my I guess you could say my principal instrument. I was a band nerd in high school, so I played clarinet. So seeing them like just, you know, take their craft so seriously and be so good at it stepped up my piano playing. Because when I first started, I was just playing the chords, you know, just trying to get by. But when, you know, being alongside both of them, you kind of have to step it up just so like we all are on the same level. You know what I'm saying? So I guess I could say they pushed me to become a better instrumentalist, I guess you could say.
Kind of the same thing too. Yeah. When we're in practice, Ari is always like coming up with something different. Like we did a cover to Mask Off, and it sounds like you can tell it's Mask Off, but it sounds totally different. So which makes me, okay, let me do this move. Let me do something real exotic, because that's what the music is. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I feed off of them. Like I hear, okay, they're playing this. So it makes me like want to match it. Because if it don't match, the visual is not going to look right, you know? So, yeah.
So aside from the fact that you dance, you play piano, you play flute, do you have kind of roles that you set into in the group? Is there an idea initiator? Is there a taskmaster? Is there, you know what I mean?
The only testing is Ariana does the most talking because I'm horrible with like.
Yeah, I'm shy when it comes to talking. I don't like talking like in front of a whole crowd.
Okay.
Yeah, the crazy thing is they picked the most awkward person of all of us to be the one
She's not.
to be the one to like talk in front of crowds. Like I don't know why, but yeah.
Awkward nation.
Yeah.
Word up.
But as
I'm
far
in
as
that
like
crowd.
tasks or like setting up events, we kind of all do it like together. Or if somebody approaches me, hey, like we want you guys to come and do this, it's like okay, like there isn't a specific person for every little thing that we do.
Yeah.
So.
It's open. We all bring different ideas. I think that's why it works so well, because you know we're all just living for art, no egos or nothing. Like we're just all flowing together. We have that same energy. So yeah.
That's something that's really impeccable to see with young folk, to be doing that as a group. Like I personally haven't seen too many younger groups. I've seen a lot of young artists that are solo, but I don't see too many groups. And for y'all to have this kind of synergy where you kind of respect each other's opinions and able to decide evenly and well who does what, and kind of share responsibilities, as you put it, Dana, is something that is key, especially when you know, you're trying to advance into uncharted territories when it comes to, you know, taking music even more serious, right? And with that being said, it's clear that you guys have a lot of inner support amongst your little triad, right? Do you feel that you are supported as young people by older folk in the wider music community
Definitely.
the way that you should be?
Yeah.
You do feel that way. That's excellent.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
We do. I think so. I think because we go to so many different events. And we try to always just reflect our grandmother. I think we all kind of carry her essence. Rest in peace, my grandmother Carolyn Brown. But
Sorry for your
I
loss.
guess thank you. But I think we all try to just bring her essence in us and like I guess put that out there as much as we can and come as with respect and humility, but also confidence. So I guess that's
Respect, humility, and confidence.
So that's a winning recipe.
Respect, humility. I'm going home putting that on the wall somewhere. That needs to be on our word wall. We just got done talking about how, because it's boom bap, so there's this fusion of education with hip hop, and we were talking about how we need a word wall up there. You know what I'm saying? So responsibility. I already forgot. What did you say?
Humility,
confidence.
and
Responsibility, or I just make that one up?
respect.
Respect.
Okay. Well, we'll catch you in the record. That's good looks, Rob. Indeed.
So this is a show that kind of examines intersections of different themes or activities, and I'm wondering if there's an intersection between your art and education. Is there any application? Is there any way that it overlaps?
Oh, definitely. You want to take this one? I mean, I work with kids on a daily. I work at a daycare, and Taryn also volunteers usually at Urban Choice Charter School.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been a firm believer that art is the thing that's gonna save every child. I feel like art you can just release anything into, and it's disciplined, it's free at the same time. So I feel like just putting that, I guess incorporating that as much as I can into my teaching is what makes me connect so well with with younger adults.
Okay.
I actually. Go ahead, Sarah. I honestly, what I wanted to major in college for years is music education because it's just I love the kids and I want to give them something positive to do. It's just I love music, so just combine those two.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something you're pursuing?
Yes.
That's what's up.
I actually want to open my own dance studio. That's like my dream. I want to be a choreographer and like go all around the world and just teach everybody how to dance.
Where would you be based out of? Rochester?
Yeah,
Word.
you gotta start small.
Okay.
It's good to dream big, but
Yep.
you gotta start somewhere. So.
Nah, there's no judgment in that.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
I mean,
if
Garth
I could
Fagan
start
came out of here.
somewhere else,
Mhm.
somewhere warmer.
Okay.
I would love to do that,
I'm not
but,
mad at that.
I don't have any problem with starting in Rochester.
Right.
This is where most of my support is, so why not?
Wise words.
And you can give back to the community.
Would it span all different
All
styles of
different
dance?
Cultural dances.
Yes.
Traditional dances. Anything you can think of, I'm happy.
Sure.
Respect. All right.
So we're gonna do a little game. We here at Boom Bap called Spitter or Scholar, right? So we're gonna throw some quotes your way, right?
Okay.
Okay. And you have to do your best guesstimation about whether or not a scholar said this or a rapper said this. Now, full disclaimer, we're not saying that rappers can't be scholars and scholars can't be rappers. That's not what we're saying, but we're talking about people who are traditionally considered scholars and traditionally considered MCs. Okay? So here we go. All right. We usually do this as a little competition, but I can see you guys not necessarily being too competitive. Like, no, I'll give you guys points. You guys are so supportive of each other, so I don't know how good you guys going to be. He said, I'll give you points. I already know you take the points, Danna. I can so see that happening right now. But, so, Spitter or Scholar, here's the first quote, all right? Hate is too great a burden to bear. It injures the hater more than it injures the hated. Hate is too great a burden to bear. It injures the hater more than it injures the hated. Spitter or Scholar?
Hey, looking at me.
Okay, one more time.
No doubt. Hate is too great a burden to bear. It injures the hater more than it injures the hated.
I'm gonna say Spitter.
We got one vote
I'm
for
leaning
Spitter.
more towards that too.
2 votes for Spitter.
Yeah.
Okay, so you all came to consensus on Spitter. It is actually
Scholar.
Are you serious?
Scholar. Coretta Scott King.
It is
Yeah.
close.
I mean, it kind of fits on both sides.
Yeah, but you know the Kings were super melodical and metaphorical
True.
with their
Oh,
with their,
come on.
with their
Wordsmith.
speeches. For real, Martin Luther King was like one of the dopest non-MC
Come on.
MCs ever. Like, we will put a dam in the river of injustice. Like, you know, like mad metaphors for days. I feel like this. Whatever is in your path and in your heart, you need to do.
Spitter or Scholar?
Scholar.
I want to say the
One for
obvious,
Scholar.
but like I'm like, is it not going to be the obvious answer? So I'm like,
I'm gonna say Spitter again.
We got 1 for Scholar, 1 for Spitter.
I'm going to say Scholar.
2 for Scholar, 1 for Spitter.
Who was Scholar, who was Spitter again?
I was Scholar.
Spitter in the middle.
Scholar. Okay. You want to let them know or should I let them know?
Give it up for Ari. Spitter.
Yes. Yep.
Wow.
So, J. Cole
No, no.
said that.
Cool.
Oh my! I
Cole
should've
World.
known that.
Yeah, Cole.
Yeah,
That's right. You were talking about Cole at that show,
That's-
right?
oh
Weren't
my
you?
God.
I'm not,
It's
but
like,
she.
I am a huge J. Cole
She
fan.
is.
I didn't
She's
even
over
know.
right
To
now.
your
I'm
defense,
ashamed of
though,
myself.
to your defense, this is like a quote, not necessarily from a song. This is like kind of like from like an interview. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. All right.
So,
I feel
so
like
it's all good.
She was like, how did I miss that?
Yeah, indeed. I look at where I'm at today and realize that most of my success is owed to most of the mentors in my life.
Spitter or Scholar?
I'm gonna say Scholar.
1 for Scholar.
Scholar. Say it one more time.
I look at where I am today and realize that most of my success is owed to most of my mentors in my life.
Scholar.
That's 2 for Scholar, right?
3.
Oh, all of you said Scholar?
Oh, no.
This is a scholarly spitter by the name of
Kendrick Lamar.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's like
Okay, now
my number
I'm
one
a.
right there.
Yeah,
oh
he's
my
dope.
goodness.
I'm so upset with
Listen,
myself.
I'm very disappointed.
Yeah, we
So,
redo all this.
I'm so disappointed
all,
in myself.
we intentionally make this very difficult
Wow.
and indecipherable.
I'm so
How did
like,
I not know?
Because the point is, a spitter can be a scholar and a scholar can be a spitter, right? So
Exactly.
it's easy to blur that, right? 2 more. I still have my feet on the ground. I just have better shoes.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna need these close after.
Right. Right. Copy of that.
I still have my feet on the ground. I just have better shoes.
I'm gonna say Scholar.
1
so
for Scholar.
thinking, I'm like,
The head's nodding in agreement.
Scholar.
2 for Scholar. What's up, Taryn?
yeah, Scholar.
All 3? They rolling together, man.
Hey, this person also said, all my life I had to
Are
fight.
you serious?
Oprah Winfrey. You guys got it.
Oh,
You guys got it.
No, that wasn't a no.
Oh, that's Kendrick. That's where he got that from, though. He got that from,
That's I'm like,
yeah, from Color Purple.
that
Yeah. I forgot. That's right. Kendrick did say that in All Right.
I'm like,
Good.
wait, what?
We
Yep.
performed that song like
Yeah.
15 million times. That's why we were like, wait.
Y'all perform. Oh man, I gotta catch y'all when y'all
Yeah,
do
I
that.
forgot
Cause y'all didn't do
about
that at the Snap Your Fingers joint. Oh, I gotta catch y'all when y'all do that. Okay.
almost like
We done that a lot of times.
Yeah, I can see.
A lot of times last year.
Oh my god, I can see that being so dope. Last one.
This is tough, y'all.
This
I'm
one
gonna
is
just
tough.
warn you.
All right.
Okay. Right now we have Dana at 1, Ari at 2, Taryn at none.
I'm winning.
I tried to say.
we just
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad.
He was ganking you for your points.
wait.
Sorry, see, that's why I was an ELA teacher, not a math teacher, y'all.
The official
MVP. My bad.
You know,
My
yeah.
bad. All right, here we go. 1. My bad. Y'all just got it all right.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm winning right
All right,
now.
last one. And I had to say it like
Let's
that
make it.
too.
Let's make it a
No,
tie.
jeez,
Let's
okay.
make it a tie.
All right. A lack of resources can be an advantage, forcing you to be more inventive with the little you have.
Spitter.
Whoa, that was fast. Okay. One for Spitter.
No.
Dana says Spitter.
I'm just going with my gut.
There it is.
Spitter.
Can I hear it one more time?
Yep. A lack of resources can be an advantage, forcing you to be more inventive with the little you have.
I haven't heard that before. I think I'm gonna say scholar. I feel like I've
One
heard
Spitter, one for Scholar. Ari says Scholar.
One more time.
No doubt. A lack of resources can be an advantage, forcing you to be more inventive with the little you have.
I'm gonna say scholar.
So we got Spitter, Scholar, Scholar.
this. Okay.
Yeah, let's see.
Tell him.
Spitter.
Gucci Mane.
Yeah, I was about to give him some bonus points.
My
Yeah.
bad.
Guap himself, Gucci Man said
With
that.
my gut.
Yep, Gucci.
So
Brr.
we
You guys
tied.
are tied.
Yep.
Can we get a tiebreak?
Oh, should we come up with one off? You got one off the top?
Nah, I don't have any quotes
Okay, I guess
super
I'll
handy
get
right
tied
now.
with her.
She's alright. She's been tired.
I'm a little competitive.
Yeah,
Just a
it's-
tad.
it's all
A little?
good.
No. See, a little is an understatement, but it's okay.
There was another time we did this, and the competitiveness did come out a little bit. Everybody was a little relaxed. It was like, wait a minute, let's do a recount. Real quick.
wow.
So it's all natural. That's part of hip hop too, right? Competitiveness, indeed.
So
Yeah, go ahead, bro. My fault.
I'm curious because you are coming at the arts from a couple of different angles. Music, performance, dance. Assess the local scene in those areas. Is it fertile creatively? Is there a lot good going on? Is it, what's the vibe between artists? Is there collaborating? Is there?
Okay.
Talk about it a little bit.
You don't want to hear my opinion on it.
Oh, but we do.
That's why we're here.
I think there's just a well of talent
Oh, yeah.
in Rochester. A well. I just don't think that people go deep enough into that well. I feel like
When you say people,
I hear a lot, usually, oh, there's nothing to do in Rochester. You can't see anything, blah, blah, blah. Nobody supports each other. And then I go and hang out with my friends, and then they bring their friends, and then they bring their friends, and we just, get people ciphering. You got dancers just dancing. You got, people just hopping on the piano or something. Just vibing with all this art. And then you go to a festival or you go to another event and you see, and I'm not trying to be rude, but you see the same artists over and over and over again.
that's fair.
And I'm just like, they're talented. I love what they're doing, but can I see some? I don't know.
There's not that much support with less known individuals, and I hate that, but it is what it is. Hopefully this can change soon with our community, but I do think the talent is amazing. I meet individuals and it's just ridiculously talented, and you honestly wouldn't know because not a lot of them have a lot of exposure. But
How much of that do you think has to do with, because there's the talent is on one hand, right, and then business savvy or business set of learning is the other, right? How much of it has to do with that being not tapped into as much, and how much has to do with it just people being unsupportive and petty?
honestly, I wouldn't. Not all the shows are petty. I just noticed, for example, there'll be one business person and they have a group of artists that they really love.
Yep.
So they'll just stick with that group, which I love how, like I said, the older crowds, they do support, but they don't branch out that much with other artists.
Right.
It's like it's
They
not
don't-
them
they don't
purposely
wanna open their mind
it's
to
not
it.
necessarily them purposely trying to shut out other people. It's just let's focus on this individual and make them up and keep going. But it's like they don't see the other artists around them.
And then like when they do see, you know, like some like random like just dope artists, like, oh my goodness, they're so surprised. And I'm like, they've been playing for about 5, 6, 7 years just around random open mics that I've seen, or, you know, just randomly at like festivals where, like, you know, like live festival, like you could like go on the grass and just sit there and just like perform basically like, you know, like where the louds are at, but no one will see you unless they're like walking by basically and you're not on the stage. So stuff like that. But I think, like I said, I think the well of talent here is like there's so many talented people here. Oh my goodness, it's so many different, and there's so many different styles. It's just it's all across the board. I feel like that, you know, we're in a league of our own. I really feel like just as artists like in Rochester. And I don't know, like
a load of talent.
It's ridiculous.
Now, of course, the Highsmith name is an artistic name. Ms. Jones, is your family artistic?
I mean, on their side, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of singers.
Yeah.
On my side.
That's art. Yeah.
Yeah, but
True.
that's about it.
So, all right. Well, just coming up as the three you did together, and seeing, you know, Jimmy Highsmith doing this thing, it affords a certain view into the business of music, right? What are your aims for what you're doing artistically, from a business standpoint, from a career standpoint, or, you know, where are you at on your journey, and where do you want this journey to take you?
That's a good question. I think we're all different, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
We
mean,
take classes separately.
right now, I feel like I'm just getting started because I'm in school, so it's kind of hard to be in school, work, and try to, you know, launch your career. And right now, I mean, I'm doing this, and I just started another project with my sister. She dances too, so I just feel like I'm just getting started. Even though we've been doing this for a few years now, I've been dancing all my life. It's just, I feel like it was always something like blocking me, like from really going far and getting far in it. So I don't know about them, but
Okay.
just something pretty
All right, so that's Danna representing. What about yourself, Ari?
Because I've literally watched my father play and just basically drive himself mad a couple times, just being a musician. I have never had desire to be a musician. I never had desire to like break into the music industry. My love for music comes from just watching him and watching his friends and just being around this music all the time. Like you just can't help it, just love it, I guess you could say, if you grow up in it. But what I want to do, I guess, is I always like strive for empowerment. I think that's really what like this my main thing is. I don't plan on like taking this like a career or whatever, because I do have my own goals, which is I want to be I want to be in some type of communications, something like media journalism. It's like my focus right now, but I do it for the sisterhood, my sisters. I do it to reach all these young black girls that I see just like screaming at the top of their lungs just to be heard and to be seen. I guess that's really it. Like I don't ever plan on like making the whole like business career out of it, only because I've seen the business side of music and it can get very ugly. But and I never want to make something I love and something that I end up hating because it's like consuming me, I guess you could say. So
Understood. And Miss Shataryn?
Well, I've been performing. I had a scholarship at Eastman, and it's just something about performing. It's how I've been. I was never good with talking about things, and I just feel like I'm breathing air. It's just when I perform, and I put honestly just everything into it, and I never really thought about performing professionally. I always wanted to teach music. I like being exposed to different music. I love being around it. It's just something about performing. It's just I have to keep going, keep doing it. I just love it. So I don't see myself pursuing it professionally, but so I'm just kind of like, it's something I love.
And there's something really special in all of these answers, because there isn't this chase for this
For the paper,
illusion.
right.
People chase the arts sometimes for the illusion, the prestige, the image, right? And each of you guys have spoken from a perspective of it just being a part of who you are.
True.
So whether you are, going to be getting into journalism, or if you're going to be opening a dance studio, but you're like taking your time with it, you're experiencing your craft a little bit more, or whether you're just thinking about doing it for the educational piece, like it's still going to be a part of whatever you do, whoever you are. And there's even a leeriness about the actual darker parts of the industry, right?
Yeah.
Which is definitely real. We have only 25 seconds left. Time flies on Boom Bap.
True that.
If you guys can quickly name your top 5 MCs. If you guys had to have a list of your favorite MCs as a group,
wow.
the Daughters of Art have to come up with 5 favorite MCs.
Give us 5 names, y'all.
Okay, No Name.
No name.
Oh.
Boom.
I don't know. Okay,
Rev.
Fife Dog.
Fife.
Dog.
That's 3.
MC Light, honestly.
MC Light.
Ooh.
Love the intergenerational thing that's going on right now.
Last
Last one.
Just one more, y'all.
Most Def.
Most Def.
And Most
Okay.
Def.
Boom.
That's a solid 5.
Thank you so much, Daughters of Art, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. Big up.
Where can they catch your? Do you guys have everything recorded?
Not yet.
We're
In the
Okay.
process.
In the process.
So-
So
Stay tuned for that, everybody. Catch us Boom Bap, capital ED,
Tuesdays.
every Tuesday,
1:30, y'all.
1:30 to 2 o'clock. Thank you guys again for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you all for listening. Peace and progress.
Peace, y'all.
Yes.